Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's Monday, and as it is, it's another collection in depth. So we're up to 30. Yes, 30. I don't believe this series of videos has been going that long. But yeah, we're finally getting through the first section of the probably longest wall. We are around the S mark now. So I know that's what you come for. So let's get into it. So here we are into the next edition of the collection in depth. So we finished off with that really bad movie Sharktopus. So hang on, actually let's go back and get a nice picture for the thumbnail. You can hear my little doggy running around in the background. So first we have Sex Drive, a very silly comedy movie from the 2000s. That picture shows it all. Then after Sex Drive we have Sex Tape, another silly comedy. I thought this was alright, I thought it was quite funny. About a couple wanting to kind of explore their sex life, and it then gets put on a cloud. Then we have good old Shaft, Samuel L. Jackson. Can't really remember this movie, I think I've seen it. Then we have Shakespeare in Love. Not a bad movie from what I remember it. Obviously not the biggest Shakespeare fan. Then we have a young Ewan McGregor in Shallow Grave, about getting rid of a body. Then we have Shallow Hal. Then we go to Shanghai, so John Cusack again, a kind of foreign-esque film with some American actors thrown in there. It was alright, wasn't the greatest thing he has done. Then we have Shanghai Noon, obviously Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson in the budding comedy after he did Rush Hour. And then we have Shanghai Nights, the follow-up to it. Both silly movies, I quite enjoyed them. Owen Wilson kind of coming a little bit into his own there with Jackie Chan. And we have Shrek. Shrek 2. You know where I'm going with these. Then Shrek the Third. Not my favourite, I think one. Possibly. Then we have Shrek Forever After, which we thought was the last. Then Shrek, I don't know. Okay, so I seem to have the DVD and the Blu-ray. I don't know how that's happened. There we go, we've got one for the... And then obviously I got the musical for me and my wife to watch, but we've never got around to watching it. Well, that's interesting. I've got a spare copy there. It's another one for the pile. Then we have Tiffany Amber Tristan. Obviously Kelly Kapowski, we all know and loved her. This is the only reason I got this movie. Yeah, very stupid and silly, but hey ho. Then we have Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock. A great series for this. Shame they didn't do more, but still great to have this. Me and my wife, massive fans of this. Perfect casting. Kind of always makes you wanting more. So that's series 1, 2, and here's 3. And then obviously the special, The Abominable Bride. Then obviously we're talking Sherlock Holmes. So then we go to Robert Downey Jr. Again, another good version of Sherlock. Obviously we had the first one. And the second one, I think he's from Guy Ritchie. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if I am wrong. Obviously there was going to be a third and there still is talks. So hopefully we get that. And then She's All That. Classic 90s movie. Freddie Prinze Jr. She's Out of My League. A very slapstick 2010-ish comedy. I quite like this. Obviously this guy plays the voice of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. Then we get into more. So we have She's the One. So Jennifer Aniston, kind of comedy. Not too bad from what I remember. Then we have the very good shoot 'em up. Clive Owen is kind of the gangster, Bugs Bunny-esque against Paul Giamatti. I thought this was quite good, silly in places. Then we have Shooter. Mark Wahlberg. I didn't mind this one. I thought it weren't too bad. Shooting Fish. Obviously, a very, very young Kate Beckinsale there before her, obviously, Underworld debut and that. It's okay. It's one of the 90s kind of films. Come along. Then we have Shop Girl. This is the it is kind of a remake from the original, I think, with Dolly Parton that has in it, with Claire Danes. Then we have a brilliant 80s movie, Short Circuit. You know, when movies were allowed to be funny, obviously stars Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sidi, obviously from The Breakfast Club. Also Fisher Stevens. I loved his portrayal in that. I know it gets a lot of slack now, but the fact that many people there, he is Fisher Stevens, so playing a person of colour, when obviously he is a white person or Caucasian, but I don't think it was done offensively. I say a lot of people don't even realise it is him, and it is a work of fiction, but there we go. Just my opinion. Showtime, a buddy cop with Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro. Again, okay. Shutter Island, quite a really, really good film. I only got to see this a few years ago. My wife always spoke fondly of this, and then when I got around to watching it, I was actually quite very thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I won't say any more on that because it has a few things. Sideways, a very good movie about some friends going on a wine trip, I think, leading up to his marriage and meeting two women and all the silly things they get up to. A very good film, very kind of cult, not cult, a very small kind of offbeat movie, but still very good in my eyes. Then we have Signs, the Mel Gibson and M. Night Shyamalan. I quite like this. The alien bit I didn't too like when the reveal is there, but I don't mind M. Night Shyamalan's work. Silence, so one I recently, very, very good for Andrew Garfield. Very, very hard watch, religious themed. Then we have, based on a computer game, Silent Hill. Quite a good first movie, specifically for an adaptation of a computer game. Then we have the second one, which unfortunately doesn't pales very much in comparison. Silverhawk, Michelle Yeoh, kind of a Japanese superhero. There's Luke Boss from the Bros Brothers as a bad guy. It has a few good elements to it, but doesn't really hold up in my eyes. It's an alright as martial art films go. And then we have Silver Line Playbook. Really, really good film. One of the first films that actually showed, I think, Jennifer Lawrence's acting skill outside of the Hunger Games. A bit more emotion. Let's move my fake nunchuckers down there. Right, so then we start here. We have Sinbad, Legends of the Seven Seas. Obviously, this is an animated movie from the early 2000s. It was alright. Wasn't the greatest one they produced, but it was still nice when they kind of did the digital 2D drawings with a bit of CG. Then we have Sin City. So I managed to pick up a very good steelbook of it. I don't seem to have a copy of the second one, which I'm quite surprised of. I have seen the second one. Obviously, they are based off Frank Miller's comics, and I haven't read the comics, but not too bad to have that in the collection. Then we have Sing. This is one of my wife's favourite movies from a few years back. She quite liked all the little singing and the animals and stuff like this. It's she loves animals and she loves singing, so it's quite a good combination of what she likes. And surprise, I don't own the second one of that. Then we have Singing in the Rain. So again, as I've said, previous ones, I'm starting to get back into older ones. I quite like this. Obviously, some of the singing bits and some of the stuff that he's done back in the day was really, really good by Gene Kelly and the other guy. When he does some of the dancing stuff in the earlier sections of it is really, really good. Then we have the classic Whoopi Goldberg's Sister Mary Clarence. I'm sure we all remember these. Yeah, great fun sing-along movies from the 90s. I grew up on stuff like this, so it sticks in my mind. Let's just move those down there. Then we have the full box set of Dead 6 Feet Under Even, not Dead Like Me. I've only seen the first few series. It is a very dark series. Obviously, it's about a family who own a care home, not a care home, funeral directors. Their dad dies and they have to look after it. As I say, it's very dark, very downbeat, if that's even the right wording, but obviously you have to be in the right frame of mind. And I say, not that it made me properly depressed, but it isn't the greatest thing to pick up your spirits. Then we have 16 Candles, so another John Hughes movie from the 1980s starring Molly Ringwald. Not too bad, not the greatest one. Then we get into the series Skins. So I never watched this as a kid. I watched this a little later on with my mate, and we quite enjoyed it. Obviously, a young Nicholas Hoult there, and obviously, yeah. So each two series starred the same characters, and then it got into new ones. So as you see, we've got Nicholas Hoult. You will see Dev Patel there, I believe. Obviously, it's gone and stuff, and her, who went to do the Bionic Woman and a few other ones. I can't remember what her name is now. Oh yeah, obviously you see all the famous people Capaldi and that. I can't remember what her name is. So yeah, that was the first two series. Then series 3. Oh yeah, she is still in it. Or maybe she was. No, it's a new kind of cast. Say, unfortunately, they didn't really go on to do much. And the 4th series, I think there is 6 in all. Okay, she did hang around. It's her that I'm thinking of. I can't remember what her name is now. Can I find it on the thing? No, if you can remember, she's in like a crocodile movie. Okay, there we go. And there's season 5 and season 6. So apart from they did one final series, but I never got round to watching that. Then we have Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, one of the first movies to be fully CG and green screen. A good idea, kind of falls on its feet a little bit. Then we have Sky High, a kind of buddy superhero movie with a little bit of a twist. See Kurt Russell there. Obviously, the original Wonder Woman does make an appearance, not as herself. Then we had the movie Skyline. Really like this. Very, very good concept. And obviously, I got this lenticular. Then I picked up Beyond Skyline a while back. And then I realised the only other day there is a third one to it, which I have not watched yet. Slackers, a buddy comedy from the late 90s, early 2000s. I was a big fan of Laura Prep on there, the lady on the right, obviously Jason Schwartzman. I can't remember his name, obviously from How I Met Your Mother and that. It's quite a few famous people, kind of before they got a bit famous. Then we got the silly comedy Slapper, she's French. Yeah, Piper Piedro, not the greatest role, but it's a bit of a silly movie. Then you kind of got, I think, the Gangster movie, Sleepers. I quite like this back in the day. Been a long time since I've seen it. It is about a kind of, the 4 boys were at a all-boys school, and obviously something bad happened to them, and it's kind of them in later life trying to get revenge and stuff. Then we have the Jamie Foxx Sleepless film. It wasn't too bad. It was a very good concept, and that it nearer the end, it kind of went off track a little bit, and I think, unfortunately, it was its downfall. Then we have Sleepless in Seattle. Loved this back in the day, haven't seen it for a long time, but you all know it's a classic. You can easily put it back on and enjoy it. Then we have Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton movie with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. Loved this movie back in the day. Good old scary horror one. Done quite well. Tim Burton is good with having his dark side. Then we have Sleepy Hollow, the first series of Ichabod Crane. Thought this was a really good concept. Did quite enjoy the first series. Haven't got round to buying the other ones, unfortunately. Let me just move some of this stuff to make it easier. The next 4 are all for the same. So this is a big series that I was into in the 90s. Sliders, Jerry O'Connell there as Quinn Mallory. This is one I would love for them to actually reboot. There have been talks about it in the past years, but nothing has come to fruition. So that is season 1 and 2. Then we have season 3. Obviously, unfortunately, cast members left were killed off of season 4. And then the really hard to get foreign version, which is season 5, where mostly everyone left except Rembrandt. And yeah, it had so much potential. It was a very interesting series where the premise, specifically as they got on, was each episode kind of took a theme from a movie for that. And basically, if you don't know, Sliders is where a scientist creates a wormhole and he gets stuck. Basically, he slides into another dimension and then has to move to another dimension in a specific time limit. If you miss that window, then you're stuck randomly jumping or sliding as it is, and that's what happens to the main group. Then we have Sliding Doors, a kind of what if. You know what the Monty Python boys say, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. If you've seen that movie, you'll know that quote off by heart. Then we have Sliver, not a too bad horror movie. It's Nathan Fillion, so you can't go wrong with a good Nathan Fillion movie. I think it was all right from my perspective. I don't think it's good as they say, but had some funny moments in. Then we have Slumdog Millionaire. Not seen it. Dev Patel. It's always one on my list to watch because I know it is highly rated. Then we've got Smallfoot, a very kind of animated movie about abominable snowmen who live on this mountaintop, believe that they are away from the world and how they interact with a human being. Final 2, we have Small Soldiers, a great 90s action movie with Kirsten Dunst. There's the Gorgonites there. Very underrated movie, I feel. And then the final one is the start of my Smallville collection. So that's season 1. And that is where we will leave this week's episode. And there we go. So that is everything from today's video. Next week's video, we've only got 1 row left on that cabinet, so we will do a short video for the following week so I can get that in, and then we'll start on the really big one because there's loads to do for the teas. Hope you're enjoying this channel and this playlist. So obviously, yeah, these videos are all going into one playlist, so please feel free to watch it at your own leisure if you wish to. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you want to do. Share it with another movie friend who may enjoy this. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one.